Greetings, I'm Sophis, and this is part two of the Going Over strategy. Well, not exactly series, but I suppose subject that I've been going over. And in the prior part, I've played as the Empire, and now I'm going to go over to the Warriors of Chaos because I believe they're another sort of faction far as they play. Warhammer in the overall, of course, many factions play differently, but they're different in the sense that they're a fairly traditional faction, but they play totally differently because of the roster of units they have available, of course. So their strategy has to be very different, both in campaign, of course, and in the battlefield. You can't play defensive as much as you could otherwise with the Empire having so much range, and you have a lot of melee available. And of course, they also have other strategic nuances that I want to go over. So, without further ado, I'll start this Archeon campaign.
It is time! We march south! Let the quivering fools know we come to tear down their
Well, in this campaign, I'm going to try and do something somewhat similar to what I did with Whistleland and Null. Maybe I'll try and go for a 20 turns or however much feels like establishing a solid position, which with Warriors of Chaos is actually not that difficult. And I don't know how long the turns may take. Of course, I'll be trying to fight some key battles manually and showing strategy, so we'll see. If it draws out too long for me to make 20 turns just like Null, I'll just try and put this more as an early game sort of thing and mostly demonstrating how you have to employ more traditional strategy with this faction. Or rather, not more traditional, more antiquated strategy, since you pretty much don't have a lot of the ample flexibility of units that Empire or Cathay or the High Elves may have. And of course, a very key thing of the Warriors of Chaos is the warband system after the rework. And your expendable units sort of become less expendable because their experience is what lets you have better units. They evolve with you. So losing a unit of, say, Chaos Warriors will set you back compared to, Empire, where you can just hire the higher tier unit back. Even if it may take you a couple turns, it's nowhere near as disastrous a loss as if you lose a unit with a lot of chevrons. So yeah, we're going to start this up. Um, Archeon, I don't think his campaign is all that different insofar as difficulty goes compared to how he was pre-Tamarkan, but we'll see. I actually haven't played him since Thrones of Decay dropped, and I don't believe it will change much. At least in my campaigns, I usually don't go in that direction, and we'll see how diplomacy with him fares. First off, we have other things to deal with before we were even thinking of him. Well, the situation here is we're a mostly melee faction going against another mostly melee faction. And what do they have on us? They have speed. So, of course, they'll be a lot more flexible in matters of outmaneuvering us than we will outmaneuver them. But that doesn't mean, that they have such a huge advantage on us. The plus of being mostly melee is that you also don't necessarily have a backline to worry about. You might get a backline later on for other reasons. But for the time being, what our strategy is pretty much trying to set up as many optimal matchups as we can and use more advantageous formations. For instance, their cavalry is on this flank, and one of the strategies would be to let them come and hit this flank of ours, this wing that we'll have on this side, while ours goes around theirs. But not only there's this terrain here, we would be going uphill while they're going downhill. So what I'll try and do is have our knights match their cavalry. So I'll try and pretty much nullify the advantage. Of course, they have spearmen here to sort of cause some trouble, but shouldn't be too hard. I personally don't like how Archaon and Be'lakor start with such a varied roster, insofar as trying to have a little bit of each Chaos God, because I think that makes the army more complex than it needs to be at the start. I get that's a theming thing that they were going for, but I would prefer to, go without it. And as you can see here, I'm trying to set this up so that I'm pretty much matching them 1-for-1, where lance with lance and the cavalry is on the same side. So if the cavalry tries to come this way, I have the units that are better against them right on this side. And here I could pretty much try and match their front line 1-for-1, but there is also another thing that we could do, which there's of course videos of this, where we can try to go for a concentration of force, which means this unit here of Marauders is going to take the brunt of dealing with this, but we'll try and put all of our offensive power on this part to try and break their formation. And that's the sort of more nuanced strategy that we have to do with a faction that's pretty much a melee rush faction. If you have any familiarity with the Skaven, even though they have that sort of, you do whatever you want roster, but if you play as Clan Molder, usually your best armies are armies where you do that sort of thing, where you have that melee rush strategy. Because most of Molder's monsters are, melee units. They're not ranged. That is, unless, of course, eventually they release, I think the name is Storm Fiends. It's an end-time unit that it's pretty much a Rat Ogre and a Rattling Gun. And yeah, if they do release it, it's going to be a big centerpiece Skaven unit. But anyway, the point of that was Molder is mostly a melee rush faction. And they are not moving after us. I think since we're the attacker, they're just holding back. And since we have no artillery or ranged, they pretty much are relying on us going to them and, wasting our energy. So their troops are fresher. As you can see, the Marauders are going to get the worst sent at them, but we're going for a concentration of force. We're going to have this part engage with this. One thing we can also do, since they're trying to go for a flanking maneuver, is have these Warriors of Chaos here try and these Chaos Warriors try and flank their flanking. Although that sort of breaks our concentration of force. And they also went for this whole melee at the middle, so what we're going to do is flank them then, since that's how they're going about it. And their cavalry just retreated and is trying to go for, us actually. So we can meet them with the knights, we are hardier than them, and these Hellstriders will hit their Hellstriders on the back. Of course they have magic, and eventually we will also have, we have it right now, but we'll have more magic of our own, and that will play into the strategy and make things a little more nuanced. But overall, with playing just with our units, we have to consider the overall strategy with purely them, and for some reason our hero's not engaged. Yeah, let's have you and Archeon deal with this. In a purely melee sort of engagement, the sad little part is that units like this, yeah, they get hit by a lot of units, but their real weakness is missile units, which we sadly lack. That doesn't mean we can't make up for it with other stuff. And this battle ended up, well, really hurting our Marauders because we made them as the wing, but if I were a little smarter about how I was setting them up, I should have sent the Chaos Warriors to be the unit that would take 2-1 and be flanked. But at the same time, there's an argument to be had that I would be risking a more higher value unit, whereas here I'm just risking Marauders, ones without even chevrons. So, there's of course two sides to this. I'm fine with risking them. No one here got below health, and they didn't lose too many units. So I think this was a good engagement. And since it wasn't that big of a fight, we actually managed to break them fairly easily. And since we concentrated in the middle, we split their forces apart, because now they only had this flank fighting, then they had the center fighting, and we were pretty much beating them and their cavalry on this side with this combo of spear, heavy cavalry, and light cavalry. So they never really stood much of a chance. The ones that got worse off with this were the Marauders, of course, since they're pretty, weak, basic infantry. But once they get more upgrades, and we have the option of the variants, we can make a more specialized unit to take on the sort of holding off for us, so the rest of the army can do the job, sort of thing. Well, this battle is pretty much done. I was just seeing if I could run down a couple fleeing units, but that should be it. And as you can see, it's not a close victory, it's a decisive victory. Yeah, we took just a few losses, but we definitely decimated them. And some people, of course, will be tempted to auto-resolve, but there's no reason to. It's also a good way to get familiarized with your army when playing a new faction. So, sadly, we don't have replenishment, but that's not the worst thing in the world. We could go for experience or favor. I believe I will go for favor for the reason that we don't have a full army. That 100 experience might be worth more if we had, a 20 stack. Then we would be getting more experience per unit, basically double than what we would get now. And of course, since we did fight manually, we are in a slightly better position to take on this siege that we'll have to do over the turn before we end. So now we recruited some fresh units to help us out. The dogs will pretty much just be an addition to our cavalry trio. I don't particularly like how, like I said, this army is a mishmash of stuff, but it can't be helped, not this early on. So all we can do now is make use of it. Another bad thing for us is that we're about to have a siege with no ranged whatsoever, which may not seem like a big deal, but it is. insofar as we won't have, say, a flying unit or a ranged unit to try and break down their towers. So our most viable strategy to not keep getting a lot of chip damage is to rush forth and take objectives, which can be difficult to do. So we'll have to rely a lot on positioning and staying mobile, pretty much using our cavalry to try and go around whatever they try and hold off from us, then hit them in the back. The problem is we're going against Slanesh, who also has a very quick response time. In prior patches, I'm sure some of you at least will be familiar with the strategy. There was, of course, the option to simply go off into set up your whole army far away from the towers and the walls and all that, and then have the fast units just go and take the victory point. But now they're a lot more responsive, and of course it worked better with the less speedy sort of demons. So what we have to look for now is which way do we attack from that gives us the best venue of attack once we breach. Because we will have to fight on the walls to some amount. We can't have the army just waiting. And our cavalry will have to break through the gates, of course. So the ideal situation here is to find which side of the settlement is better suited for that sort of invasion. And of course, consider the nearest victory points. For instance, I think this side is very fortified. There's clearly going to be a blockade and a tower here. And this tower is going to be firing all over these walls. So probably not the best one for us. Here we also have blockades. We also have, this is one that, no, this blockade. Yeah, I don't think there's a tower in this one. Unless I'm looking at it wrong. Just give me a moment to be sure. No, the tower is for this. So, and here. So if we do invade from this side, we would avoid, unless this one has tower. Oh, no. This one controls a tower right over this victory point. So, yeah, this would be a little more difficult. Let's check the last possible means of ingress right next to the victory point. This one has 2 blockades, 3 blockades, and a tower right near its own position. Here we will also have to deal with towers, and they do have 2 positions where they could keep this as a choke point. There's also the fact that they could be peppering us with towers from all sides before we invade, that is. However, considering this is the highest ground and we would have access to the victory point, I believe I'll take the risk of going over this side. This is the sort of thing that you really have to take into account when your whole army is melee rush, pretty much. Thankfully, our enemies also don't have ranged units. It's only the towers that are going to be annoying us. So that makes things at least a little more simple. If we were attacking, say, the Grand Bastion, that would be a whole other story. We would have to consider all the possible ways that they could flank us with ranged units and simply destroy our whole army. Of course, there's also the approach of you could try and split the forces and attack from all sides, but not only is that extremely micro-intensive, you might also lose entire units if, say, the enemy concentrates on one of the particular angles you're attacking from. So I'm going to try and keep these in reserve, but also use them. I don't want to completely wipe out the unit, and I want them to recover in a timely manner to still be useful, but I'll keep them as a sort of secondary resource, not that high priority as, say, our Chaos Warriors. But that being said, what we can do now, since we'll be hit with towers, is to give these units some level of priority and keep the Chaos Warriors and more valuable infantry in the back. That way, as we advance, the more valuable units are being preserved and the less valuable units are being hit. So I'll try and do it like so, but I'll also try and spread them out actually. Let me try and redo this just 1 second. Yes, that should be it. Because that way they'll also have to go wide. And then we can concentrate on the way here, so they also have to shift. We'll see. Now, Archaon, of course, and the hero will draw Tower Fire. There was a time where they wouldn't, but right now, I believe in the current patch, it's fairly certain that they will. So you can keep other units behind them as well. It's not as sure as this, but it's still fairly good. I'll do the same for the cavalry by having the Chaos Warhounds in the back, in the front end, the valuable cavalry in the back. They'll be hitting the gate. I could have them go from... I could also have them go from this side and just have them use the superior speed to hit from here, and they would have to have quite a long go around, but I believe they can help from there. So we're going to start the battle and we'll see how they deploy. See, all the forces are over here, so I think the flanking strategy will pay off. Everyone go to that gate, and this column moves forward. We can have the hero and Archaon as the first to go over the walls. They're single entities, they'll do well enough. And then we can have other units scale the walls. That should be simple enough. Of course, these ones can't scale the wall, so I'll have them hit the gatehouse. So, since they can't simply climb, they'll be mostly keeping this open for themselves. I think most of the units will be over the wall by the time that they make it. And see, they're going for the hero, but it's not as foolproof. It is hitting our backline. And yeah, this unit was already fairly injured, so this wasn't ideal. But it's better than all of them getting fired upon. Oh, for some reason, this unit simply went ahead and reformed. There's some really weird bugs sometimes with formations. I've had sieges where the enemy, because you broke a wall, they form a single line stretching all the way out into the field. Not sure where that's from, but I've seen some really odd formations. Not in the current patch, mind you. That was probably either early Warhammer 3 or even Warhammer 2. So maybe they fixed that particular stretching out thing. It was fairly rare in either case. So it was just something that really caught my attention when it happened. Okay, should be simple enough. How's the... Well, they're hitting fairly... Oh, it's on slow motion, that's why it's taking forever. Sorry. Yeah, I slowed it down for the sake of talking and explaining stuff, and I forgot to slow it back, put it back to normal speed. So, yeah, there's just no sugarcoating it, we have to go up. Although, I will try and have it be the Chaos Warriors, not the Halberds. Maybe the Halberds can wait alongside the spawn of Nurgle, since they won't do as well as the others on the wall. And actually, I'll have the Chaos Warriors climb because these already did their job of keeping them from being shot at, so they can be on the reserve as well. And Archeon climbing the wall. I do believe you can still aim some spells over the wall, even though the gate isn't reached, but we'll see about that. Can I? Yes, I can. Okay, that's going to help us out immensely. Oh, they're retreating. Huh. Either way, still working out for us. Now we can have him sort of cover. They don't have a lot of things going on. They're trying to respond to our 3 units going over this way, but this unit of, what is it? Devoted Marauders is going to take quite a bit to... Oh, we already breached, so by all means, go in. We're going to take this victory point, and then we'll hit this one hard. If we can take this one before the battle here at the walls is concluded, even better. And since this is just single entities fighting, I'm going to just drop it right on top of them. Oh, beautiful. That's definitely doing a number on them. Magic really matters a lot more for factions like this that mostly have this sort of units in the early game, because yeah, there's some nuance to how you have to play, but it's mostly melee stuff, so you have some limited options at times. And they're sending, of course, the Hellstriders, but we can meet their Hellstriders with our Hellstriders. Let's let them get close, because they'll be separated from the Marauders. And we can go for the dogs, and then hit them on the side with the Knights of Zinch. None of this is particularly ideal, but they're split, and we, for the most part, aren't, because these units weren't going to help with the fighting on the walls. So we can go for this, and we can go for this with Archeon. This bombardment spell is probably going to give him the most kills of anyone in this siege, more than likely. And now we can have the Chaos Warriors deal with them. The only thing we're missing really is some healing for the single entities, but aside from that, this is doing pretty well. Our cavalry is a little shot, well, not that much actually. They pretty much won this engagement. Of course, it's 3-on-1, but still completely broken, and minimal damage on the Hellstriders. Pretty much none on the dogs, and also, oh well, just a couple casualties with the knights. Yeah, this is it. Simple enough. I was gearing up for this to be just slightly more complicated, but of course with melee factions, there's also the benefit of simplicity. You just throw your force at enemy and wait it out, more or less. Pretty much Archeon carried this, of course, as you can see. All that damage with the... I forget the name of the spell, but the Lore Metal. Okay, so occupy and vassalize, of course. And there we have our first fortress. Simple as that. A Searing Dome, that was what I was thinking. And we could go for Burning Head, that would help a bit. Because the passive is good. It definitely is. It makes them weaker to fire, but having a wind spell would really help make Archeon more versatile, because right now we have a single entity sort of spell to deal against those sort of enemies. We have a bombardment to deal with blobs, but having a wind to deal with the whole unit and possibly a whole line of units, that would help us more than having the lore passive. We're going to just go for this. And let's see. Oh, of course, we're going to get our one ranged unit for a long time, because this is going to make our lives considerably easier. And of course, since most of our recruiting is done locally and as we raid and plunders, the fortresses are mainly economical, so at least for me, the best idea is go for growth and money rather than trying to rush and get, say, a cultist or wizard that can give more magic to us. Right now, we're probably good. We have enemies that are going to send us this way, and then we'll have options. It will depend on how the campaign progresses, of course. No choice here but this, of course. Although I do like to go for trying to get this as early as possible for the sake of, more souls. Although with Archeon it's slightly more lax since each vassal gives you passive income, but it's still a lot of souls that I'm potentially not getting by not researching that. I'm not going to add any Gift of Chaos right now because even though some of this is good and probably I'm going to go for this one, I believe that it won't benefit us at all. So we would just be paying the soul's price right now for something that won't benefit us in turn one. Just as I'm about to benefit from it, I'm definitely going to use it. That should be it. Yeah, let's see diplomacy. I have no idea what Tarmurkan thinks of us. He's neutral. So we should be good. Even though he will go for Kolek, I think we're pretty much safe for now. He's not going to bother us. Like I said, I haven't played Archeon since before Thrones of Decay, so I have no idea where Tamurkan ends up compared to us. He's definitely going to hit Kolek, but I don't know if he'll go for Village and the Chaos Dwarfs. I have no idea. Really haven't been playing them on that general area for a while. Well, this turn should be pretty much just walking, so let's go for that. If Boris isn't that big of a problem when we end this, I might go south and try to take on the Skaven. We'll see what happens. But as you can see, we're starting to get, passive income. One thing I like to do with Archeon is, as much as possible, try to keep the most vassals to just have a crazy income that covers what we're burning with the gifts. So I'll try and see if I can at least leave this faction alive with one less settlement. In the meantime, yeah, get more Marauders and the Horsemen. The more units we can get, the better, just to have a full army. And of course we have the one ranged unit that we can get that is fairly common, and that with some resources we can upgrade and make quite decent. Though I usually play my undivided armies, having them be undivided. I do like to dedicate them to Zinch due to the Warp Flame making their projectiles a little better.
I am the chosen.
Well, another turn that doesn't really have much going on for it. I definitely forgot how sometimes some corners of the map have these long distances where just nothing happens. I mean, in the Elspeth playthrough, we were already doing quite a bit in 3 turns, but there's also the advantage that this is an absolutely defended corner of the map. You know, Warriors of Chaos have a very difficult time being defeated, I think, as they are. When they were just a horde in Warhammer 1 and 2, I think they were far more susceptible to defeat than what we've got going on here now. Especially since vassals create a buffer that usually, depending on how close the enemy is, they won't go for you. It's a very interesting playstyle. And yeah, finally, after just a few turns of walking, we're ready to finish up this faction. I could fight this, but there's really no good reason to. It's just a simple little fight. Although we would take less damage from it, I don't think it matters much. But since we do have the cannon, I'll at least do it. It's not a big deal of a fight, but you know, if we can manage to have the cannon and the marauders do most of the damage and not hurt our own units, the better. We can pretty much put the hell cannon here and, I don't know, have some of the marauders guarding it just in case they decide they want to flank it for some reason. Yeah, just so the cavalry doesn't do anything, but other than that, we can rest easy. Have most of the army just here set up. Let's see, this and this. Okay, stretch out. And yeah, in this case, we can play defensive because they have nothing on us and we have the ranged advantage. However, since they do have that cavalry, although I will try and use the marauders, and since they are Slaanesh, it's good to have the other cavalry nearby just in case. But it's nothing super complex. Just going to have them work in tandem, and these guys will mostly watch. I could set them further back, just to have it so that they will take longer, but there's Lanashi, it probably won't make that big of a difference. And here we go. Keep these units here ready to shred this one to bits. I could probably even try and kite them just a bit before. Yeah, they're going for it. They're going for the horsemen, I think. No, they're retreating for some ungodly reason. But so long as they're being split from the main group, that's good for us. We can try and pin them down. The Hell Cannon is definitely laying it into their infantry. And this is a 4 versus 1 sort of engagement. And they went for it, so let's go, and try to keep the Marauder horsemen away from the actual fighting. Some got caught, but the others are melee. They're going to handle this a lot better than them. And this shouldn't last too long. Besides, like I said, this is mostly about us taking the least possible casualties while they take the most. We can also go ahead and have Archaon do this just to slow their advance. Should go off in time. Yes, it did. Good. And everyone retreat before their melee line meets yours. Everyone just go over here. So long as they're split, we're good. The Knights of Zinch are a little slower, so I think they caught them. But they have barriers, so we're good. We're good. Worst case scenario, we send the dogs back to hit them. We can also have the cavalry annoying them, and yeah, this should really be it. I mean, it was never in question whether we would be able to defeat this enemy. The question is really how much can we preserve ourselves while we're doing it. And right now, this is the only annoying part is this is a split battle, so we have three things going on. But other than that, it's not really a big deal. The House Riders came back, but I think a few salvos from the or other horsemen should take care of them, and even the Hell Cannon itself hitting them. For some reason, they disengaged with this front and decided to go for there, but they're going to be sorely disappointed when they get a face full of Burning Head. I also have to say that they really made magic enjoyable again in Warhammer 3. It used to be very, very annoying in Warhammer 3 at launch because some that were more used to the way Warhammer 2 played, the magic felt more gratifying to use. And I think that it's a little more balanced now. I mean, it's definitely better than Warhammer 2 because you could go really crazy with it. But the important part is that right now you have strategic options to improve your mana reserves and keep things in a way that magic is a viable option. Another campaign I think that pretty much just goes magic, magic, magic is Gelt, and I'm sure a lot of you played it. It's just so fun, but it's very, very different from how Empire normally plays. Yeah, here we don't have the option to... Well, I can gift it to Vassal, which I will prefer because this lets us keep moving. Oh yeah, they have a final settlement, so that's why I couldn't vassalize them. Just have to make sure I'm here in time to... Because I've had situations where this... No, not this. I think Boris was at war with them and made it before me. But, random campaign stuff that happens. I'll go for the upgrade on Burning Head. Because as you saw on that... Well, it wasn't a complicated battle, but it helped. It cleared out the units, and that's a good thing to have in our pocket. I believe a key thing with the Warriors of Chaos that might go over some people's heads is a good Chaos army, I think, is a simple army. It's not just putting every single frontline monster and crazy thing you get through the gifts in a single army. You pretty much need to have a frontline and support in effect. And that usually works out the best. And of course, you have to play the little game of affinities and authority just to not raise your upkeep too much. But that should be simple enough to do. You pick one Chaos God to be the front line, whether that's Khorne or Slaanesh, and you pick another faction to be the magic one, so either Zinch or Nurgle, and that usually works. Or go full monogod with each generic general that you have. Up to you, but If you want to mix, I think it's better to go for duos than to go for trying to fit 3 or even 4. An undivided army is a little harder to keep going, especially due to the heroes. Here we'll go for, well, it doesn't change much. I think, well, I'm gonna go for this. That doesn't really matter. I think the edicts aren't as impactful with the Warriors of Chaos as they are with other factions. But yeah, once we beat and vassalize these guys, we're going to have enough income to have one of the gifts going indefinitely, so that's going to be good. I don't like when we have the option of the already devoted champions, because that means, at least in the case of Archaon and uh, Be'lakor, that means you don't have the option to have the aspiring champions. So these will never be able to be aspiring champions, while these ones have the potential to be. So I prefer much more when they're undivided. As you certainly know, the aspiring champions become a very powerful unit once you get a unit of them, or even an army of them going. But they're not perfect, of course. I think going full doom stack of them isn't exactly ideal, because they're not single entities, and if you don't take care of them, yeah, they'll be pretty much like Warhammer Fantasy Space Marines, but they are still fairly fragile, I think, if you don't play them well. Other single entities from their roster play a better Doom Stack-ish role, even though they will get a ton of buffs from the technology tree. Alright, what are we up against? Oh, well, not much. So, oh, we even have an option to have more Marauder Horsemen. Between these, I think I'll actually go for the dogs. I don't want to clutter up my whole army with just Marauders, because each of them should ideally micro and split. So even though they are available right now, that doesn't mean they're the best choice for us. Yeah, it should be simple enough. Not a big deal at all. I'm not gonna channel magic. It would, these are good enough reserves for our purposes, and since they have all the disadvantage, I'm going to actually go for a more defensive setup in the back. We have the ranged advantage. There's no reason for us to charge them, and we are uphill, so they will have to exhaust themselves and put themselves in more risk and fight a less advantageous battle than if we just rush them. So should be pretty much just this, a big front line, more or less. Shouldn't keep it that big, actually, just something like this. They're not going to have enough to flank us, and we have cavalry. There's no reason for a lance unit to take an active combat role here, even if they're corn units, that they're at a disadvantage with these reach weapons. We can put the spawn on the wings as well to react to whatever they throw at us, and the cavalry will harass them. They don't have anything fast moving, so I'll actually leave some of the cavalry in the back ready to hit them as they're on the approach. This isn't steep enough to actually merit, a really big counter charge, but it should at least make it hit harder. We're not going to see a lot of units flying. And here we go. Just put Archeon here and the Exalted Hero here. And yeah, that's going to be a very one-sided battle again.
Yes, Lord!
Can actually go for their flank this time.
Now is our time!
And already they're trying to split themselves up just because of this. That's a valuable strategy that I think sometimes goes unspoken, where there's value in your cavalry moving solely for the sake of delaying part of the enemy force, even if they don't have anything to hit them with. Just the fact that you have a speedy unit misdirecting their forces. Oh, they actually did have cavalry, my bad. Well, I mean, it's one unit versus the dogs and the horsemen, so I'm not really worried. Of course, they're coming for us, so I'm just going to pay close attention to that, but I also want to keep an eye out for when they get close enough that Archeon can just drop magic on their front line. Okay, and there, yeah, here we go. Let's go for this and have this unit hit their side, and these units harass them from here. Yeah, I think they're close enough now. They are. So what we'll do is... Oh, they actually went for this side just because of the cavalry. Weird. Alright, if they want that way, we can give them things that way. I'll just retreat the cavalry, and since they chose to ignore this flank now will hit them from the side. And just go along the line, harassing them. On this end, oh, they actually sent the melee to deal with the Marauder Horsemen, so I'm going to retreat them. And send the dogs here to hit this unit of infantry from the back. Okay, that should be pretty much it. And now we can have the Hellstriders go behind these Lancers' backs and remove any advantage that they once had. Yeah, it's going pretty well. It should go pretty well. You know, there's no good reason for this battle to be any sort of loss for us. Now let's have the Hell Cannon shoot the retreating units and have the hero actually over here helping Archeon, even though he doesn't really need to, but... Okay, now the Knights of Zinch, they're just a little slow, but they're fast enough to just run down the enemy units, but we have no reason to, well, except for, you know, experience. But it also isn't so much experience that it matters, so let's just end battle. They'll get all wiped out anyway. The important thing is they'll become another vassal, because I'm pretty sure that's their last settlement. Yeah, subjugate right here, and we get a hefty amount of souls. So it really, I don't think there's a lot of downsides to having a ton of vassals with Archeon. There we go. Okay. Now that we have 2 vassals, we can go for one of these for free. Now that I think about it, although this will make a big difference, you know, there's 2 ways to approach this. Being given Chaos Furies will let us directly hit towers, but at the same time we now have access to the Horsemen and the Cannon, which can do its job, although I think they are very good at their job. Or we could go for this, which gives us an army ability that will just let us break any wall on our way, and of course gives us some missile resistance for free, so I think in the overall, even though this would give us more flexibility on dealing with towers, this ends up as the superior siege option. There we go. Total upkeep is 50, and next turn you'll see that this counter will say 50 from us having 2 vassals. And the other benefit is that by giving it to vassals we get movement, so let's see which way it should be better to go. If we go for Boris right now, I think he is at war. Yes, he is at war with this faction, and it doesn't seem to be going his way, though that could change quickly. If we take Boris while he's weak, we can then hop over to Norska and try and take all the Dark Fortresses here, because Norska has a ton of them. It's really the way I usually go with Be'lakor. I prefer to just, instead of going for the obvious and go for either the Empire or the South, or even Bretonia, taking Norska with Be'lakor gives you a ton of Dark Fortresses, so your early economy is really powerful. And I think with Archaon, we can also afford to do that, because although the one thing we will find on the way is Malachi now. Before it was just Krakadrak. And if we go this way, we'll have to face Malachi earlier. So we have options. I think I will try to go for Boris either way, because getting rid of him pretty much frees up the general area of the Chaos Waste to us just running wild. Because then if Malachi doesn't look too good to invade, we can keep swooping up here and then come down when we feel we can bring him bring him down. We could also go here and deal with these Skaven, but that means also later having to deal with Astrogoth. And, Chaos Dwarfs can make for lovely allies, but I think we lose a lot of momentum going down here, because then we just hop over here and then we have to deal with Kislev. It's a slowdown where you basically will have 1 Dark Fortress, 2, and then 3 here. And then you'll have to be fighting Kislev for Prague, versus staying in the north where you can get the fortresses way more easy and then come down with a more sizable invasion force. So I'll actually move as far as I can go. Let's see if there's anything else I could get. Oh, Dragon Ogres. Of course it's not a Shaggoth, but I could have it to reinforce the already significant cavalry, the force we have. The poison warhounds are also very tempting. This would make for, we would have because we have light cavalry with this, and this would be more light cavalry. This gives us more heavy cavalry, so we would have 2 heavy cav and a lot of light cav. So I'll go for this, even though it's mishmash, and like I said, I don't like it so much. Trying to look at it through, the overall roles, it isn't so complex. It still is, but we'll spread these units out across other generals, or even dismiss them as time goes on and we get better options. The important thing now is the Marauders aren't getting a lot of experience, because the units that are really causing damage are other units, cavalry and all that. But over time, we'll get better options, especially if we run into any aspiring champions on the way here. So I might swap out the non-Chevron units and even dismiss some of this, like we might not need two units of hounds when we have better stuff. And yeah, upgrade this. And these were actually fairly quick initial turns. I have to say, this campaign is actually going. Yeah, I'm not gonna say super swimmingly. I think there's something to be said about having the opportunity to have tough fights early on that then give you an immense head start compared to the others. And I think Archeon has a very safe start of campaign. None of these fights were either the one here or here, here or here, particularly challenging, which, it's good in some aspects, but in others you are not gaining as much experience or opportunities to do something really bold. Of course, you could argue, Sophis, you could go for, say, Tamurkan and ignore these enemies, and that would be the bold approach. But I disagree because you can't confederate Tamurkan, and what you would get from him is one Dark Fortress. You would still have Kolek here, which you technically don't want to attack because he can be confederated. Or actually, no, you do want to attack him because he can be confederated. Sorry, for a second I forgot that Greenskins and Warriors of Chaos have their the same system, more or less. But yeah, I mean, you would have to fight two tough opponents, and all you would have to show for it is one confederated ally and two Dark Fortresses, which I don't think is as worth as going for the easy battles where you can gain a lot of ground. But yeah, some campaigns are not like the others. It's good to have different early game vibes. I just like when, for instance, I believe I've told this in the Dark Elves VOD. I liked how in the in Lokir's campaign in Warhammer 2, you had a pretty good option that set you up for a long time in the campaign. This is going to be an interesting fight. Let's see if I can use stock to have Boris sort of ignore my presence. I'm not sure how well that could work, but if it does and Boris sets out to deal with this, we would have a very easy way to just deal with this army and this garrison, then just run after him. Because the only thing of ours that he can attack is this fortress. So, yeah, we'll see. And he did go for it. They're going to offer a non-aggression, which of course you don't want to take because you want them to be your vassal and you want to beat them into submission. In fact, you could even beat Boris into submission, but I'm not the biggest fan of Order vassals because they usually make other factions of yours, factions that are potential allies, a little more upset. But, if you're the sort of person that doesn't mind that and you're playing like really evil, you can go for it. I think I will fight this one manually because even though, again, it's an easy fight, it's also good to show how to adapt to an enemy like Kislev that does have range. So let's go for it. Besides, there's fairly good odds that Boris will double back and hit us. Okay, let's start deployment. I mean, the reinforcements are pretty much nothing. They are well outside of our Hellcannon's range, but let's place it pretty much at the very edge, then go ahead. Because this time, rather than sit in a defensive position, I will try to advance our forces as early as we can. Not that we're in any rush, since, the reinforcements aren't that important to make us try and get rid of this before it arrives, but it's, still sort of would drag the fight unnecessarily if I just sat in a defensive position. We definitely outnumber them and outpower them.
Reap their souls.
We're going to use the same general strategy as when assaulting a city, although ranged units can be a little smarter than the towers, I believe. They can be more reactive to what's exactly a priority problem for them. And since these are archers, um, it's a little easier for them to shoot over our front line and hit the back line. And since our exalted hero is already on horseback, we're going to put them there. And yeah, we'll have basically cavalry wing and main force charging in. That way we can keep them guessing. In fact, if I could micro is a whole other area of skill. I think it's obviously necessary for you to get to playing under higher battle difficulties and be actually, playing on legendary and all that. Although I'm sure there's auto-resolvable army compositions in those difficulties, but if you want to really play every aspect of it, I do think you have to learn micro. And in my case, I will admit my micro is pretty bad. I mean, it's not quite grandpa trying to play a video game, but it's up there. So we'll see. Yeah, this goes forward. We're going to have them go forward a little bit, and this whole force go over this way. They're trying to reposition, of course, because they're seeing our forces split, so they are trying to adapt to this dual front. But yeah, they don't have really much of a place to go to. I will try and force their cavalry into moving with the cannon, and as soon as it does, if it does sally out, try and hit them hard with the cavalry. In the meantime, I'll try and set up these units here. Not quite here, because then they'll start firing, but just at the edge. If we go through the forest, we're going to have an easier time, and I'll leave the Zinch Knights to flank, and these will actually go for this wing, and when this side comes to meet this, we'll use them to hit them. Hammer and anvil and all that. And they're actually refusing to move. Might be due to the reinforcements, or sometimes it's a matter of how damaged the overall army is before they decide it's time to charge. It depends. I also don't want the ogres to be the first to go. Oh, see, they started moving. Okay. Let's go. They're going for us. So we'll be going for them. I actually want each unit of dogs to hit a separate unit because that means we can... Oh, we should also move this army, of course. And they actually went just for the flanking cavalry, so we should punish them for it. Okay, let's have this come over here and go up. Both of them hit them from the back. And see, this is one of the things you have to consider, of course, when you have to... you have a backline of sorts to protect, because those marauders are your backline. You can't just send them charging into this ranged unit as much as you might like to. But they're getting pretty hurt already. We hit them in two fronts, and that's really going to cost them. And yeah, this should be it. I could even risk throwing a bombardment on them, and even a burning head, even though I have units nearby. Just move out of the way, because that burning head will be coming straight for you. Yeah, and there, now we can hit them. And their single entity general appeared, so let's get rid of him. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Overall, just the dogs got a little banged up because they were the first to the fight, but the rest of the army is in pretty good shape. Yeah. And now he'll have to contend with this guy here. So should be over in a second. His racial passive popped up that keeps him unbreakable for a little while, but not forever. He's going to keep fighting for a little while, then he'll break and the battle will be ours. Yeah, like that. Although, since he wasn't attached to the garrison and he was outside, I believe, it might be best to try and kill him before he has a chance to make it out of the battlefield. So the idea is keep these units around. He's trying to go for the other direction since we have our units here. So we'll keep harassing him this way, and he should be dead soon enough. The only problem is sometimes these units end up pushing the enemy away rather than actually, killing them. But I think this one is actually hitting. I think the problem is more with certain really big units and lords giving chase. I think on horseback they do a fairly decent job. And pop another spirit leech on him. That should do it. Yeah, there we go. Oh. And accidentally, our hero got a hell cannon shot, but thankfully it didn't hurt as much. Yeah, we're in good shape. If Boris doubles back and attacks us, we mostly just hurt our Chaos Warhounds and the hero just a tiny bit. Everyone else is pretty much in top form. The Zinch Knights are making quite a bit of difference. I didn't expect them to be doing quite so well, but they really are. And oh, I can actually subjugate Boris here and now. So yeah, rather than deal with him, it's worth it for the sake of not having to deal with fighting him. And like that, we have him as a vassal. Of course, now the Khorne faction hates us, but they're up next. Alright, let's go for upgrading Spirit Leech. A flaming sword doesn't really do much. At least not for what we have here. I believe I would prefer him to give us casualty replenishment. That's key for our force. Let's see, do we have... No, we don't have any aspiring champions or anything of that sort. Well, our army's in a pretty good state. And we can just take on these guys. Of course, if we do declare war on them, I am not sure if they'll try and send an army this way, but we'll see. Right now, well, Boris says he's going for this, but since we're not at war, is he still at war with them? No, he isn't, because... Oh, he still has a trade agreement with Malachi. I thought when you were vassalized, everything else went, null. We'll see. Okay, now we can get the souls, and let's actually force march, since we can. We could dedicate this guy to something. Although it would cost quite a few souls, so for now I'll actually leave that be. Maybe eventually put him as a Zinch, not Zinch, Nurgle hero. Although we also have now the Nurgle Sorcerer that's a better healer than just a hero. But, it's still viable to have the warrior with a few free heals, if that was the case. We can also get another one of these rewards, since we'll only be having 25 souls as upkeep since we just vassalized Boris. So we'll have a very minor loss comparatively, but let's see, is anything here even worth? I mean, the Furies won't benefit us because we don't have a second army yet. This would benefit the Marauders and give us more experience. So this one does seem like the best option right now. Yeah. Let our forces grow and develop for a very small cost. I do believe that the way this is set up, Oh, he moved. If he didn't, that would have been ideal. What are they going to? No, I don't want anything to do with them for now. Let's see the options: control or tribute. I'll go for tribute, although it's very small right now.
Has been issued, mighty lord. A great adventure beckons.
One of the quests, I'm not interested in that right now, so let's...
Great, so too are the perils.
It's one of those quests that I have to click it before I can do anything else. Let's see where he went. Oh, he went over that way, so yeah, perfect. I was worried he might have gone for this and then he would march straight for the fortress, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So I'm going to declare war. And... oh, seriously? I thought we could make the attack. Seems we can't, but Boris probably will, so... overall, since he's a playable faction, he'll go before them. And we'll just reinforce, so that's fine. Unless, of course, he's still going to go for this for some inexplicable reason. Yeah. Of course, go for economy, and that's turn 9. As expected, he went for it. No reason for us to manually resolve this. I mean, the only thing that would change is I would just sit back and let Boris do everything, but I think he will anyway. We'll go with the experience this time around. More benefit for us.
Yes. Bow before he who wields the Slayer of Kings.
Trade agreement and a sum of money. Pretty good.
My prayers are answered. No.
I do think Archeon eventually gets enough that this doesn't really benefit him. So compared to everything else, I think actually magical attacks is better because there's less ways to resist it, so he'll be more effective.
Slaughter begins. There'll be
I do believe the enemy will now be hiding out in the fortress,
lies this way.
so we'll try and hit this one since it's an easier target and that blocks him off from going after us. And I think Boris will make the move.
It is
Although if
Ursul's
Boris
bidding.
does win, it would be bad for us because he is unlikely to trade. So actually, it might be better to go for this, thinking about it now. Yeah, because what do they have? They have a fairly decent force, so Boris could win, but he could also lose terribly.
The eye of Sheriff
And Tamurkhan wants
your offer. But
peace,
I will
probably.
from your lips.
Oh, military access, not peace. No, I'm not going to give you that. At least offer me something decent. Okay. Oh, they sallied out, basically. I don't exactly understand why, but they did. Well, this should be a good example battle for talking about, a different sort of enemy. Finally, a tougher fight. Pretty much this will be frontline versus frontline, and we have a worse frontline. And as far as cavalry goes, they just have this. And they have a lot of flying units, which could disrupt the cannon, but we also have a lot of fast-moving stuff to respond to that. And if we keep the cannons fairly close to the front line, then we have no problem with this, because our strength does not solely rely on the one unit that's more vulnerable, or even on these units. It relies on the bulk of the army, and the bulk of the army is not as troubled by this. So yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, and it's a choke point battle favoring them. That limits our venues of flanking. So, this is a choke point battle favoring them, and they chose to deploy most of the army here. And yeah, sometimes I don't understand the AI. Okay, let me just put everything here on the back, just so I can think more clearly about where to put what.
So be it.
Yeah, the front line goes here, definitely. We're definitely engaging them on this front. The hero should be doing well versus demons. The Herald of Corn. I think him and Archeon together can deal with that. And here we put this unit of Warriors of Corn, because did they actually put the Warhounds in this side? Yeah, this makes no sense. This should be the side flanking. Okay, if they decide to put the hounds there, I guess I'll keep the halberds here. This side will have to deal mostly with the furies. I'll keep the cannon, but I'll keep it in this way, actually more down to the middle, because I think it will have all around usability, because it will be able to hit this and then turn around and hit that if need be. Although I do expect these furies to sort of beeline for it. And if they do, I want to have this, or actually doesn't even need to spend such a unit of small of Nurgle on it. I think even just leaving one of the Chaos Warriors here probably do enough good. And keep the Chaos Warriors here, or actually, yeah, here. Because if they send infantry to attack this, I'll just have them spread wide and take it, and then have this. I can actually have this in the back line, depending on where they move the hounds. That leaves us with just our cavalry to deal with the furies, which is not the worst thing. I can actually have a semi-defensive sort of position where I have the cavalry sort of delayed and I don't try to rush in as soon as I can. I react to whatever they'll do with this flank and go from there. Because moving early will, I believe, hurt us more than help. So put this in the back, the melee cavalry in the front, and if we win this engagement, then we can sandwich their forces between this choke point that should have been beneficial to them, but will then ultimately help us. Yeah, I'm not forgetting anything. No. Then start battle. Alright. I want you to fire right at their Herald of Corn. Can I do anything else early on? Oh, I can have him boost up the power recharge rate. They're not sitting still, they do want to go aggressive, so what I will do is move this forward, keep this in the back, you know, just defending the cannon, and we'll see what they do. They seem to be keeping this still, but moving this flank. Alright, let's see if we can at least lure some of the Furies. Or are the Furies just going to go for the cannon? They seem to be going for this, actually. We'll see. Yeah, they're all in a cloud. Oh, they're trying to flank this force. Yeah, and disrupt. Okay. That's the game they're playing. We can work with that. Oh, they summoned units. I forgot they had the ability to do that. That was slightly annoying, caught us slightly off guard, but not so much so that it ruined our situation. And they came for the Hell Cannon, like I said, that I expected them to do. That's why you keep a melee unit nearby. And yeah, it's off to a great start, actually, even though it may not seem like it. This is good. I just might... Oh no, the Burning Head is going behind, thankfully. It can go either way, and if it went for us, it would have hurt those marauders, but thankfully no. Yeah, I'll keep the heat on these marauders. And we've dealt with their pitiful flanking. One of our marauder units did get hit pretty hard, but we can compensate for that with a heavy cavalry charge. No, I'm not gonna send that after these warhounds. And if these our own hounds recover, I'll have them chase the other hounds. We'll see. I think, yeah, they're in a better position to recover, though I think they'll both be off the battlefield before a full recovery. Yeah, that's their general dealt with, and everyone else is either breaking or dematerializing, so we won this. It hit our marauders a little hard, but other than that, pretty good across the board. Very straightforward. And see, that's why you defend your cannons with decent units, because they could have also summoned that those blood ladders on top. This should be very straightforward. Yeah, the gold reward seems better this time around. They did survive, if barely, but that's a very weak unit compared to what they were before. I think Boris... No, I don't think Boris can hit their city, but he just might have enough range, because he's in force march, so it's hard to tell his true. He actually might go for this settlement, if I know the AI well. He won't come to reinforce and hit this, he'll just go for the easier target. The one he can just grab and leave be, which is not ideal, because then I won't have the option to vassalize this faction. And I'll be stuck with Boris as the vassal instead of them, rather than, having both. But, I'll take what I can get. This is still fairly good. Now, what do I want here? Well, yeah, I'll go for building income. We do want to build up our economy first and foremost, though we will have a new fortress to do that with next turn. So let's go. Okay, we got the source technology. So now what I usually do is, with Be'lakor, I like to go down the Zinch line, but with Archeon, it's pretty much dealer's choice which one you want to go for first. I think, construction time reduction, and then choosing either Zinch or Corn should do well enough. Although there's also something to be said to going for this and then unlocking Chosen. Well, now let's just go for it. What do I have? No, I don't have any aspiring champions available. Seems, yeah, Boris did exactly what I thought he would. He took their last settlement. Now we have to fight the Pyrrhic victory. I don't think so. Let's continue siege. One benefit is I think we can still recruit if we preferred, because what we can do is merge this, and we could have fresher troops come in. Let's see, can they already get upgraded? No, they can't. They also can't. Oh, we could have made them not wield this. I don't like the Hell Scourge weapon as much, but it also doesn't matter terribly. We give them lances, and here, sadly, we can't dedicate them yet. If we could, that just might be what makes the decision for me, and I'll go for Zinch as soon as possible. But yeah, this is not a Pyrrhic victory battle. It's just saying that because some of our units are a little hurt, that's all. Let's just see if there's something I can equip the hero with for... Is this the one that gives a heal? No, just unbreakable. Although I can fuse this and hopefully we get... Lucky. Okay, that's good. Gambled and won. Yeah, he'll do well enough with a little ward save. Alright, so now we have once again to consider our options of means of attack. This is actually pretty bad. This is a massive choke point that benefits them. Although assaulting this is also a big choke point for them. They would have... Well, they have these towers. I don't think they would have other towers firing at us. But here they could raise the one thing that we need to access this victory point. So, not ideal. Going this way, we would have a way to set up our cavalry to go over here and still assist, but yeah, this one actually is very open. That would help. And then there's this one, which might actually be even better. This one has 2 towers. This one has... Yeah, this one also has 2 towers, so... Dealer's choice, really. I think I prefer this because it's a little easier to manage. So we're going from this side. The cannon could be over here. Although... I could try and sort of waste its ammo, but there's really no point in trying to break down those towers with it. Maybe the best idea will be to have some unit with it taking the hits while it takes the shots, and try to move it as fast as possible to here overall, where it can act as our own tower. And with the rest of the troops, let's put them here. I want an assault over here. Also keep in mind that as soon as this comes on, we'll make our own breach right here, so we'll have 3 means of egress into the enemy base. Although I could also keep the cavalry, you know, here and breach here and then have them run wild, which, you know, might also be a viable option. And actually what I just might do, yeah, have the Marauders with them and keep them sort of in this hilly area where the tower might have a harder time shooting at them, because they do have a lot of infantry, so I think they will be able to man a lot of the walls wherever we deploy. I think if we keep ourselves mostly here, because of this gap, if they man just this and not here, we'll have a bigger benefit. So we should at least make it seem like we're going to just hit it from this side. Aside from the other forces, let's have Archeon here right at the start. Yeah, go. Although he'll climb the walls, so the one that can climb the walls is the hero, so he can go for the gates. Let's keep the Chaos Warriors in the back like before. Let the Marauders take the hits for them. Same goes for the Halberd Warriors. This is cavalry, so it goes with this flank. Same goes for this. We have a fairly sizable cavalry army. You know, more than I usually have in my campaigns, but it was the luck of the draw what we had as options. So let's start this battle. I think this could go fairly simple. Yeah, see, they deployed all over this side of the gap, so if they were to react to us, it would be fairly slow compared to how much we can go ahead and do. So this will now go. We'll have Archeon come up here. Even though these are coordinate units, and I really would prefer to not pit the Marauders against them, I might have no choice. Although, these towers, they have an effective range, and if we keep ourselves out of that effective shooting range, we can stay almost indefinitely out of danger, and there's not much they can do. I think here is also a fairly safe, more or less, not perfect, but good enough. And on this side, can I? No, I can't. So actually the ideal scenario is most of them going this way. This is the safe spot, as it were. And this unit can... Do they have a tower inside? Not yet. No, they don't. So we'll have... Oh, it can shoot at their general. Unfortunately, it would have helped immensely. So we'll soften up the targets for when Archeon gets there. I'm gonna have this part in slow-mo for a second, just to see how things are going, since there's a lot of moving parts. And yeah, this seems good. Everyone's moving, except for the Marauders in front of the cannon. Oh, the towers are actually fairly good. I think they... What's the level on these towers? Oh, it's cannon projectiles, no wonder. That was careless of me. I have to be very, very, very careful with this. It's very hard to dodge. It's gonna hurt the hero a lot more than it would hurt the single entity, the units, but... Yeah, I think the big hope will be for the cavalry to sort of claim a lot of ground and take the victory points away to have our units be more effective because of the stat bonuses that claiming victory points gives us. They're starting to move away, and I think it's mostly due to the fact that they saw what the cavalry is doing. So another way we could go about this, since they're reacting that way, is to reinforce our attack on them. Although, yeah, they're reacting way too much to it. I think I'll actually go and ruin this corn unit's day, because that's going to do a lot of damage to them and their best unit. So actual change of plans. Yeah, see, like that they lose a lot of units and we get a way in. So I'll actually move the cavalry all the way here, have them have part of the enemy army running around doing nothing, basically. And we'll focus our assault on this side. Because although I did have an initial plan, you can see the enemy changed tactics, so I'm counteracting their own tactics by making it useless, completely useless for them. And they deployed the unit. Oh, I think that this was the summon. So I actually want these marauders to deal with that rather than have the hero deal with that alone, because he's already way beat up. That now they're actually going for the cannon, so I'll actually move the cannon here and have the marauders cover them, because the cannon fire is definitely going to hurt the cannon a lot more than it will hurt those marauders. Yeah, a lot going on. Surprisingly complex setup, but I think once we get a proper foothold here, this will be mitigated. Now let's drop this on them. I could have helped the hero, but that would also come with a lot of friendly fire, I think. And since the walls broke, I can also target inside if I really wanted to. There's even a neat little trick you can do. I'll show you this. It's gonna. Oh, for some reason I'm not sure what happened. Oh no, because he cast the meteor, he didn't have enough wind to do the rest. And now they reacted back to going back to this, so now I can actually have, say, the cavalry come over this side and start breaking into the city. There we go. Now we can all go in. Everyone go in. I do believe, with the ranged ones aside, everyone else can just bum rush this. So I'll have the marauders on the back. Actually, I should create a control group for like melee cav and non-melee cav. Yeah, that's everyone. Okay, this group, please go ruin their day. And this group here, you're going to be range cav. Everyone else, Archeon, I don't want you solo fighting everyone, but for now you are the strongest, most qualified person for this job. Yeah. I'll actually charge in my Warriors of Corn, even though they aren't ideal versus, melee stuff. Other infantry, they are far more qualified than these marauders. So, fighting their own brethren, they're going to be a little better off. Okay, this should be an easy enough engagement. Oh, they're also moving the blood letters here, so Group 2 has to be mindful of that, because they'll flank. Now we're fighting a battle on two sides, so this is going to be fairly micro-intensive. One of the reasons micro is a very good skill to acquire. The more you do it, the more you'll be able to handle, these multiple front sort of battles on your own. Yeah. Where did... Oh, there... The AI is weird. There's a perfectly good breach here, and they are insisting on using the ladders. Even Archeon was. Instead of going forward and going over here where it can just immediately do this, he just went and... Yeah, it makes no sense. You know, I'm gonna start climbing the walls. Since it's going to be that way. I think the one unit that won't do this sort of silly thing is the Spawn of Nurgle. And are they actually trying to summon units into the wall? They are, I think. Did it work? What the heck's going on here? Are they inside the wall itself? Oh no, most of them spawned over here. That's weird. That's really weird. Let's see, the Chaos Warriors, please get into the fight. You are more qualified than the Marauders. So please, for goodness sake, do it. I'm not going to say that I'm going to win this siege without losing a couple Marauders. I do think that's bound to happen. But I don't think it will be a Pyrrhic victory. Now I just have to keep the Hell Cannon away from the melee fighting, because it's only going to be useful once we have an actual, safe spot to just station it in. Okay, that's not super ideal, but they're managing. It would be a lot better with the Warp Flame variant. And they already have... This is to their benefit, unfortunately. Our melee and even the cavalry is bogged down, and we're not taking any of their victory points. So maybe the call here would have been to try and move at least the Marauders here before the path is completely closed off. Because it's if they lock down our cavalry, then it's pretty much their advantage lost. Archeon is also not looking too good. Even though he's winning the engagements, there's just too much thrown at him. So I should send reinforcing units. Yeah, that should be it. This isn't looking good for our cavalry. Even the Zinch Knights are doing well, but the Warhounds, they're not doing too good. The Marauders should, by all means, keep going. Come over here and try and avoid this really bad position. The Dragon Ogres are actually doing fairly well versus the Bloodletters. Actually, I will keep one unit firing and 1 unit running. Yeah, sorry if the battle is... I kept it in slow motion. It's just there's a lot going on. I know someone a little better than me could probably keep going with this at full speed, but there's just a lot to keep track of. Are they not even hitting the... No, they are. Okay, I was worried they were even... Oh, now they just broke it. Okay. Yeah, at least give some assistance. Even if you're kind of beat up, at least do something, please. I don't think the Hell Cannon firing right into him would be wise. I think it would do a lot more damage than good. Let's drop another Searing Doom on them. And yeah, okay, that's not going super well, but it's not terrible either. Let's see if we can have that point taken. You can't go over here. Oh, there's a barricade. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we shouldn't have lost momentum. Maybe I should have opened the breach like here. I was over eager and opened it here where they have more access. That's why you study the map better before you do something like this. If I breached here, they would have had run of the whole place. Didn't seem like that big of a difference, but it clearly was. Okay, now these marauders are here, and now we can try and take at least this gate from them. We'll see. Alright, since we can't really go anywhere, best that they help these dragon ogres get rid of. They really are pulling a lot of weight. They're taking on 3 units and yeah, they're hurt, but they're still standing fairly well. There's still plenty of a blob here. So I think the Searing Doom is actually really paying off. Although Spirit Leeching this guy would have helped, because he's tearing into our Chaos Warriors. And now Archaon is going to deal with him. Yeah, let's see how much damage Archaon did so far. Yeah, that's plenty of gold value. Might have be a lot. Okay, I'm gonna resume time now. Yeah, he's dropping them from the wall. That's bad for us. Let's go for this, and how's it doing on this side? Good. They keep sending units this way. That's the disadvantage of them having such a big garrison, but... Oh, we actually crushed this part of the army. They're routing. Now it's time to make use of that momentum and go for this. Let's see, did we free up this side? Sort of, not really. Even the Knights of Zinch are having trouble because the bloodletters. Okay, oh, and the Dragon Ogres are now fairly beat up and the Marauders are almost out of ammo. So our cavalry did do good, but it wasn't a perfect trade-off. They lost a lot of steam with that engagement, and the towers certainly aren't helping. So let's try and move the Hell Cannon inside. I think that's important. It's also important to keep track of who's engaging what, because if we just have the army idle, that's pretty much giving the enemy the momentum and opportunity. So let's have this side go here while the other half goes there, and try and move in the Hell Cannon. They're firing at something. Oh, it's towers on our own side, so they're firing at the routing units. Now let's see what we can do on this front here. Our hounds are rallying, so but their leadership isn't super good, so better that they stay near a battle that they're winning and try to make it here. Can they make it here without... No, they have to go through there, so let's actually try and have them go around alongside the Marauders, because that's also a victory point. This side here is breaking, and we'll have the no, you keep going this way, please. The Shaggots are going at well, Dragon Ogres. The Shaggots is the single entity version. Yeah, this is going well. The Hell Cannon's over here. Let's have it set up here. Took that victory point. Oh, for some reason I couldn't select for a second there. Yeah, hold this point, but yeah, let's have everyone here reform as much as possible. Yeah, these are mostly Marauders, so yeah, everyone reform here to fight this. There's no point having them run all the way to the victory point. Just try and win this engagement without losing too many forces, because Archaon and whatever's left here that isn't a cannon are going to push forth into here alongside the Marauders and the Hounds. Yeah. I wish that we didn't have this tower doing all that damage to our cavalry, but we can't always have what we want. Oh, I think they actually all broke. We won this one. Unless there's something unbreakable. Yeah, they're disintegrating. So we did win this. I don't think it's a Pyrrhic victory. Probably close victory, not heroic. Yeah. Pyrrhic would have been far worse. These are just some banged up units. Okay, let's occupy and vassalize. There we go. Oh no, actually that revived the Norskans from here. I thought there was a small chance we might have vassalized them, but no. Alright, that's... Oh, Purple Sun, of course. All the way. Archaon has quite a valuable selection of spells. He has pretty much some of the best spells from 3 different lores.
Excellent.
And let's just give him this and that. Alright, I think this is a good stopping point for right now. I'm just going to do this and I'll stop recording for today. So see you all in a second when I resume on another day this campaign. Alright, see you in a while. And we're back. Alright, last time we left off we were in a pretty good position, especially since going this way, you know, there's obviously a lot of fortresses to go and get. Now, the only question is if we'll run into some sort of problems from the other directions. I don't think the Skaven will pose any sort of a threat yet. I don't think they will try any sort of diplomacy. And I think Tamarkan, yeah, he's improving. Each vassal is improving relations with him, so probably pretty safe. So if we keep going this way, we'll probably get a lot of dark fortresses and plenty of vassals. And I think it will play out a lot better than just going here for Kislev. So let's go with that. And keep the Chaos Corruption. And yeah, next turn. Let's see. Tribute doesn't hurt, and bonus experience with these Norskins doesn't really matter, so this one's a better reward anyway. Okay, that's the Blue Scribes, and yeah, it's just the standard quests. Warriors of Chaos really get a lot of legendary heroes. I wonder if they'll get also the upcoming one for Khorne. I have no idea. Well, if they do, I think I'm not sure if it will get too much bloat of, because we already have a cold, and we have Karanak. We have a lot of Zinch and Khorne. We don't have a lot of Slanesh stuff though, so maybe it would be neat to have that. Is Epidemius down to his last settlement? No, I think not. I think he has what? He's not at war with anyone. I think I'll try and get rid of him. We can confederate him and he would just be on the way. Preferable to just going down and dealing with Malachi. And, worst case scenario, if it gets too bad, we can always try to dip out to Norska. For now, let's just go for this. Before I do, just have to make sure that we aren't missing out on any potential good units. Alright, let's trespass and see. I mean, it's a big army, but I don't think it's a terribly dangerous one. So we'll go for it. More growth, and yeah, that should be it. Pretty much. Although, there might be merits in declaring war here and now. Because he will attack us first. We won't get the benefit of our vassals yet. Yeah, let's go for it. Alright. Now, yeah. He does have a lot of territory, but if we beat him here and now, I think we'll be in a good position. Valiant defeat. We'll see about that. Not that this particularly matters, but whatever. Let's just see. Anything interesting to recruit? No. Not really. More Zinch and Nurgle. Oh, I think... Wait, can we upgrade these to... No, we can't. It needs one more rank. Very close, but no cigar. Alright. Let's see how this shapes out to be. Because he has a lot of trash. The problem here is Epidemius. I think Archeon can dish out a lot of the damage we need. And everyone else is in a better condition, so here's our daring fight that if we beat him, it's going to be smooth sailing going west. Now, something that I'll try and do is, since we have Epidemius with his lore of Nurgle, I'm a little more worried of the damage he can do with his spells versus us, so I might just keep most of the army somewhere here, because this map does allow for them to be in reserve, sort of. You know, here the towers won't hit them at all, and they'll be well outside of Epidemia's targeting with his spells. So I will go and just try and see what I can do with Archeon and the Prince. For now, I think, yeah, the cavalry can stay here. They'll all focus on this side, so there's no reason to try and have them come from another side. And splitting up their forces, all of that won't matter. Now, one thing to consider is, because I'm doing this and I'm placing all of my units basically on reserves, yes, you can say that I'm cheesing a bit, but at the same time, I'm also giving them some advantage, because they will have a lot more time to build up everything in the victory points. So by the time I do invade, they'll have towers and barricades and everything else in the city. So I am actually gambling a bit by trying to do it this way. So things to consider if you're going to do the same. Oh, and now I didn't even notice he got his mount, so you won't be scaling any walls, but it doesn't matter. As soon as we break a section of wall here, we can cast spells. Let's just grab everyone else that isn't over here and put them over here, just so I can put everyone here in place. Yes. Because the army isn't at 100%, and I think it would have a lot of undue casualties if we went head first like in the other sieges. You've seen how protracted some of the battles became, even with the mobility advantage, and even if we had a lot of numbers. So since everyone's a little beat up, best that they rest up just a bit. Would have been neat if I had a potion of healing or something for Archeon and the hero, but since we don't, we'll have to be very mindful of both their health pools. But since they're on horseback, I'm a little more confident in their ability to just evade the towers. And what I'll actually do is have the Hell Cannon take out those towers, because when we do have to invade, it'll be a lot better if we're not peppered by it. And Epidemius is actually all the way back on the victory point for some reason, and I don't quite get why. It's really going for Archeon. Ooh, it's okay. I'm gonna try and be a little more careful. Also, since we have this ability, let's see, Plague Bearers, which are their higher value. This one has a lot of chevrons. This one has the most experience of the bunch. This one as well. So either of them would be. Oh, but this section of wall is probably indestructible. So I'm going to go for this one here. Yeah. All right. And we'll give ourselves we'll save the other one for making a breach and trying to go for Epidemias, actually, because I think that failing to, deal a lot of damage to his troops on the walls, the next best thing is to try and get rid of him with Archeon and the Prince, just so we're pretty sure that, we won't have to deal with Nurgle spells being flung at our own troops. Although this Beast of Nurgle would also be a very valuable target to get if we can get our hands on it. Another strategy would be to either throw in Archeon or the Prince and then bombard their position. And now that I think about it, I just wasted Winds of Magic because this thing has regeneration. That was... For a second, I completely forgot. And yeah, as you can see, they're having all the time to build up and create a fortification. Oh, yeah, it's a missile attack, but it's probably nothing too much. Okay, so what I will actually try and do is... Archeon probably can take Epidemius one-on-one, so... maybe go here while we're waiting on... well, actually... yeah, because they seem to be moving everything that was on the back line into the front line. We can no longer see where Epidemius is positioned. Oh, there he is. There he is. Is he moving? He is, but he's slower than everyone else, so I'm fairly confident that since this is a Nurgle garrison, because we've been up against Slanesh, Khorne, and now Nurgle, we can safely outmaneuver most of their stuff. Unless he had, Rot Knights, which I'm pretty sure he didn't. It was mostly Nurglings and Plague Bearers and the Toads. Yeah, so I think it's pretty safe to go here with Archeon and just one-on-one their Lord. And open sesame right here. Here we go. There we go. Now we can go straight for him. With just Archeon. Of course, they're going to deploy their forces as soon as Archeon gets in, but they're Nurgle forces, so we'll have plenty of time. I think it was very foolish of the AI to actually try and have their legendary lord so split, especially Epidemius. I don't think he's quite a duelist, though. I haven't either played him or gone up against him in battle all that much since he's this far up north. In fact, sometimes I've seen him wiped out way before I have even a chance to know anything about him. Okay, yeah, maybe we can Spirit Leech him. Does he have regeneration? He does not. No, he has no regeneration whatsoever. Okay, soon enough we'll be able to drop that Spirit Leech on him. They're all reacting to Archeon's presence, but they're probably assuming I'm going for the victory points, which of course I'm not. Let's go for it. Yeah. I'm not sure... Oh, he's summoning a unit on top of us, but that's going to be to his detriment. Yeah. Well, Nurgle units have a lot of health. Well, I think he's winning that duel fairly decently. He's trading off pretty good against both the Plague Bearers and Epidemius. Just have to be mindful to not let Archeon get completely surrounded or flanked by their flying units, which they seem to be sending our way. Okay, I'm going to then drop this. Oh no, they're going for the victory point. Well, okay. They're just letting their lord get completely attacked by the enemy general. They just care about this empty spot where I'm definitely not at. Yes, that patch really scared CA into making the AI really protective of the victory point. They're, because they come here and they're not even, trying to sally out to defend Epidemius. Yeah, look, fairly sure. Yeah, he's totally losing. Even with the summons, that didn't really hold things back. Oh, now they're sending something. All right, let's see. This is to our benefit, actually, unless they really get good at hitting Archeon. We can try and get those plague drones to get hit with the transmutation of lead. And yeah, good damage. Not as good as infantry, but definitely not bad. And as soon as we kill Epidemius, we can just, get the heck out of here. I think the gate's open from the inside. It's just a matter of finding a good exit for Archeon. Yeah, and he's... Oh, he started crumbling, yeah. Perfect. Let's just drop this one last transmutation of lead. Searing Doom, actually. I'm mixing up the names, sorry. Sometimes the spell names, they all seem... Wow, does Archeon just not have the mass to get out of this? That's annoying. Are they really going to just push him around? How? Wow, that's something. Alright, I'm going to Spirit Leech them. Single entities, that's going to do a little something to them. If I can at least reduce their unit size, then I can stop being pushed around by all their animations. Because they clearly have more mass on me for some reason. Let's try and... Oh, they're crumbling. Perfect. Okay, now I can... I got more beat up than I'd like with Archeon, but we took out their one spellcaster, so for me that's well worth it, because if we do have to do some sort of dueling, the hero is already in good condition and we can just have Archeon in the back lines just being the spellcaster. Although, yeah, we're also very low on magic. So even though we're very low on magic, I do still count that as a win. Because they could do a lot more damage to us than we would do to them with the spells. But now I do regret wasting that one Spirit Leech on that Beast of Nurgle. Because, it wouldn't have been enough for a Purple Sun, but I would have had at least, enough for a Burning Head. Which against all these Nurgle troops... Wait, what happened? Oh, it ran completely out of ammo. Because I wasn't paying attention to it. Huh. Well, live and learn, The upside is that... Yeah. Actually, can we even try and cheese this? Because if we can, that's, GG. But strategically speaking, not the cleanest victory if we go that route. Okay, gates open. Now Archeon can rejoin the others. Having the Nurgle hero, not the spellcaster, now would have been really nice, but at the same time, I don't think we would have one at the level that they get the bounce spell. Because when you do dedicate, you get like half the levels the dedicated hero had. So he's at what? I don't think we can even check. I forget if he's what, rank 10 or something. I don't think at 5 they get the healing. Oh, oh, the already firing at us. That's not good. I was trying to avoid this because that's going to be really bad to Archeon already being that beat up. Okay, there, let's try and... If you do on normal speed, it's way easier to dodge, although some projectiles are way harder than others. And of course, mileage may vary if your legendary lord is a really big model, which Archeon of course isn't right now, but see, the fact that he's on horseback does put him at a considerable disadvantage on the matter. Alright, let's... Because this is free balance of power for them if we let them get this. Alright. Still a good trade off. Those plague drones really did a number on us, but at the same time we got rid of the plague drones, which were one of the few units actually worth something in this army. Also his summon and all that. Yeah, their forces are fairly split. We could actually try and go for trying to lure them way back here. Although now they station themselves over. Alright. If we take this side, we can at least free up this side to not be at risk of being shot by the tower, so I'll actually have... No, everything here is... Can the Knights of Zinch... Yeah, they are at a better position to take on these toads, but... Well, they do have barrier, which is a big advantage. So even if they get shot at, they have better odds. So I'm going to try and... Even though they're heavy cavalry and a lot slower than everyone else in the cavalry tier, they are probably better off trying this sort of strategy. Barrier is an absurd strategic benefit to your units, because that means you can do a lot of hit and run with very low risk. That is, if you know how to manage it. Now, of course, the disadvantage we're at is that since Archeon is mostly out of Winds of Magic, even if we do get a lot of... Ooh, Salvo actually hurts them quite a bit. Even if we do get a blob going, the most we can do is Searing Doom, which, granted, can still do quite a lot of damage, but these are Nurgle units, so it won't do as much percentile damage as it otherwise would in a unit from some other roster. Okay, so I'm going to wait here for a second, let their barrier regenerate. The good thing is they're not manning this tower. And then I'll try and get rid of the plague toads. Might even be worth it to send in the hero. And that was pretty quick. The barriers regenerated. So let's, yeah, I'll go in and try to engage with them. Now, will the troops at the walls do something? No, they... Huh. Is that a bounce spell or an army spell, perhaps? Okay, they're starting to move, actually, away from the walls and just repositioning, I think. Okay, they're trading off actually quite well. These knights are definitely doing a lot of work. But I don't want them to get flanked, so out, 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 before they completely surround and tar pit us, because that's definitely the Nurgle specialty. Of course, some units are going to get stuck, there's just no running away from it. Oh. Rancid Visitations, I think. Yeah. Who's casting it? They have a caster? Or is this the unit's bounce spell or something? Because... oh, it's this... They do have a wizard still. Oh, that's not ideal because all of our single entities are on horseback. So as long as this dude stays on the wall, we can do anything to him. At most, we can get a Marauder Horseman to try and fire at him, but since he's on a wall, it would be very wasteful of what little ammo we have. I really should have kept the Hell Cannon and rather than try and shoot down the tower. Although I think it did shoot down the tower, then ran out of ammo from trying to shoot. Oh, now it's going to try and cast this all. Very annoying. Very annoying. But he also has a finite amount of Winds of Magic. So eventually he'll run out. So we just have to beat that out. Then he'll just be a fairly weak single entity as far as dueling goes. And if we can fight this at the walls, better for us. They're going to sort of sally out, that's to our benefit. And let me just try and get our hero unstuck so he can actually... He's really wasting a lot of Winds of Magic on this. Not that I'm complaining, way better that he does it on the knights than he does it on the units that don't have any sort of healing. Because barrier is healing and infinite healing. It's just a very temporary health pool. Now I have to retreat before they start doing actual damage. Yeah, this spot is safe. Are they going to sally out to... No, they're just going to go out enough to disturb. So I'll actually bring out one of the units of Marauder Horsemen, even if they get shot at. Better to not overuse and exhaust the units we have here. We definitely have to preserve the Knights of Zinch, because they just might be the key to beating out this whole roster of things. And I got a little shot at, but that's fine. I think the first volley was avoided. There's going to be at least another volley before we're completely out of their range. Alright, now, oh, Archaeon got involved, but let's try to keep this. Don't shoot into the wall. That's one thing I hate. No, now they're shooting into their own allies. Please, shoot just at this. I'm not going to allow you to shoot anything else. I think they ran out of Winds of Magic. That was about, I think, 4 or something Rancid Visitations, and they haven't cast anything since. And I think he actually overcast and took damage, unless he was already damaged and I paid no attention to it. What the heck's going on here? Another weird positioning thing going on. Okay, now let's send the knights. They're fresh. And you stop firing while the knights are attacking. Now get out. Oh no, they stopped manning the tower. I was worried they would get shot at. And that would reduce barrier really quick. Alright, that's one of their units dealt with. And even if this... yeah, just a single unit, and there it goes. There's another unit of toads and more exalted plague bearers. If we can bring them out, that would be ideal. So I'm going to try and do the trick again, this time just with the exalted hero. See who bites, pretty much. Who's going to bite? Nobody? Not the toads, not the plague bearers. Not even going to try and fire their special ammo. Alright. Let's try just one hit and then out. Okay, there they bit. Now before you get surrounded, come on. Yeah, oh, the toads are sort of keeping him there, but there we go. Can we lure at least these plague bearers out? Can we? Doesn't seem to be the case. I'm sorry if you do hear, outside noises. Just, yeah, I picked the quiet time, but sometimes the unpredictable happens. Okay, this is taking quite a while. I'm not liking how this is becoming such a protracted little battle that I'm oh, if they do sally out, that's good. Okay, they are selling out. They are very shyly, but they are. Oh, was it the exalted hero that dragged them here? Seems to be the case. But now they're going back in. They still have a lot of fresh units, and we don't have much on our side. I mean, I think, yeah, against plague bearers, the regular marauders won't do as good. It would have to be chaos warriors to at least have a better fighting chance. And the tower is still there, so we would need to take the tower somehow. What I'll try and do is break the gate with Archaeon and at least give us 2 ways in. Because the only problem here really is that there's way too many units here, because I could otherwise just start picking off their units around here. And yeah, like I said, because we took our sweet time, look at this victory point, completely fortified. We would have to break in, go through here, 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 here. And actually, no, it's completely blocked off. We have to break some sort of barrier to even try and take this. So it's very much in their favor. Our best bet is, for instance, trying to go and getting this one, then actually trying to go from here. Since they do have a lot of units, actually, yeah, we'll try and do that sort of distraction, if nothing else, to make their forces sort of split up, you know, because I'll use the fact that they're ignoring my hero to my advantage, because for some reason they're not minding his presence. So if that's the case, we can take full advantage of that fact. And if they do stop ignoring, then, well, we can take them on. Like so. But right now, I'll try and take this, because if I do break this tower, for instance, it won't be around for the rest of the battle, even if they retake this victory point. Yeah, and it completely gave up on chasing me. So if we do this around, although as soon as I try to capture this, they will send all these units around here. What might be more valuable then is if they send anyone from here to try and stop me from getting this. Which they are sending. They're finally realizing that me taking this would not be to their best interest. The question is if, since they're Nurgle units, I can do this before they even get to me. Because all that matters is breaking this tower and these barriers and making sure they can't go up for the rest of the battle. I don't particularly care right now about the... Is this a spell? It's Curse of the Slug. It's probably an army ability, actually. Any case, it's gonna be over soon. Yeah, it's over already. And it doesn't matter that I will lose that victory point. I took out their tower, so I'm taking the advantage they had from time away from them. Now I have a lot more free reign around here. The only problem will be this victory point, which I just can't claim. But how's the situation at the gates? They stayed in place. I don't think they want to risk anything. Oh, this side doesn't really bode well for me. Yeah, I'm not going to try and take anything from this. Alright, so what are our options here? Is this one unassailable? No, it isn't. So I will actually do a little run around them, which I do think we can, since I do have the speed, although from here might not be the best idea. Oh yeah, from here I can do it, because they're coming this way. I'll slip past them and right through here. I don't think I can take this victory point, but I can try for certain. These Nurglings are trying to block my way somehow, but they won't. And he's also in fairly good fairly good state. I don't think they have the mass to stop me, even. I think I can move through them. Mostly. Not really, actually. Oh, very annoying. I mean, I'm way bigger than them. I'm not sure why they would have more mass that I can just kick around this blob of them. But fine, if that's how it is, that's how it is. I'm going to go through here. And yeah, they're going to try and defend this point, of course. And now they are actually close to react to me. For some reason, they're going away, though. Yeah, but they're going to come back. At least one of them is. For sure. There's no way the AI is that silly. Well, it actually is. You know, I thought the CJI was smarter, but for some reason it really isn't. Well, so long as I get to take this, I will. They're defending that point. There's no reason, and I do think we accumulate victory points if we take this. But the point here is breaking down the barrier, so we have more mobility inside this siege map. And yeah, taken. There we go. Are we getting victory tickets? No, of course we aren't. But now they're going to send everything they can to try and take this. As you can see, this old point that they took back can't build stuff again. This is from this point. Is it? Oh, this one is also annoying. It can close off completely. If we can break this, okay, because there's no units around, so I'll try and break this one. The less towers they have around it here, the better. Oh, I see. So the way they made it is you need to have both to win that way. Alright. So what I'll do is just make this place safe for me to just invade. Oh, and actually I do think that if the tower tries to fire here, it won't hit us. Let's just make sure that's true. It does seem to be the case. It doesn't have a line of sight to us. So as long as there's no Nurgle units around, we can just keep going at it. And it's almost down. Just, you know, a handful more blows and... yeah, I think 2-3 hits and we take this. Then try and go for this one, and if we capture that last one, that means no towers whatsoever inside the settlement. In which case, as long as we survive that little salvo on the way here, we can actually have our forces just fight whatever the garrison is, rather than fight, you know, infinitely replenishing towers, as far as their ammo goes. And then we can probably hold and take victory points. Oh, now they're actually trying to stop me before it's too late, but since they're no Nurgle units, I don't think they'll make it here. You know, if this was a Slanesh garrison, I mean, no chance in hell that I could do even half of this. And there we go. One less zone that they can block off from us and put a lot of towers in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then he's still fresh. Does he have perfect vigor or something? Or I guess it's just the fact that he's just riding around, not really fighting. Yeah, I'm gonna take this next. And they apparently won't stop me at all. Though I don't like the fact that they have those plague drones around. Seeing what they did to Archaon, and given the fact I don't have any spells or anything to throw at them, I would be slightly more worried if they do decide to come by. They do seem to be sending the beast this way, but yeah. They aren't really reacting, thankfully. I'm going to keep a close eye on the drones above anything else. Because even if the beast kinda can fight us, it's way worse if the drones catch us, because clearly they can stun lock us into place. The beast can't surround us. This is going to be quite a long siege, actually. But it's going to give us a lot. You know, it's a more complicated fight for a better reward. And the reward is not having to deal with epidemias or other sort of opposition on that side of the map. I mean, except of course Malice, unless either Daniel or Epidemius has already dealt with Malice, I have no idea. But even Malice, I think, if you know how to handle Dark Elf units, and if we have, you know, enough things to Spirit Leech him with, we can probably handle Malice. Okay, that was almost every victory point. Just leaves us with this last one that they now abandoned. Yeah, I think the upside here is if I get rid of this one, they won't have these two towers, and since all their forces are now on that back end, sending in our army will just have to take what's here, and they'll have a lot of a way harder time trying to do something to us. So yeah, let's go for that. Because they're running circles, trying to catch us when it's just one guy on a horse.
Men of the North,
Wait, where's Archaon? Oh,
do not
he's here. He
ruin
cleared
my
up the
destiny.
gate. So what I'll try and do is I have to keep a close eye on this guy, just so he doesn't get stuck on Nurglings or something. But yeah, in the meantime, since they're not giving us anything better, going for a hit and run on these Exalted Plague Bearers. As long as our barrier holds, we should be good. Okay, he's gonna get shot at a little bit, but from here I think neither tower can hit him. It's sort of a mirror situation. Okay, now everyone pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Because now they sent everyone. Now we're going to take actual damage. Yeah, this wasn't the ideal scenario. That's on me. I'll try and have Archaeon help them just a little bit. No, they're retreating, so no reason to. Okay. We took some damage there, but not enough to really merit concern. In exchange, how much have they done? Yeah, some value, not a lot. Oh, some of them are still stuck. And if they die, they die. Come on, come on. Reform, please reform. And you come over here and break this. Alright. Thankfully, everyone got out. Of course, some models definitely got more damage from this. But we still have a lot of them.
Charge them!
Yeah, once we take this is going to be easier. I'll just march over everyone. Although sending us... No, I can't take the wall with just a couple of them. It's a real shame that I didn't pay attention to who had a mount and who didn't. Because now, not having Archeon or the Exalted Hero able to sort of clear out the wall is going to cost us. Okay, at least from one tower we can be safe. Okay, that's... Let me at least speed up time so you don't have to sit here. Oh, just watching me click here and there, and there we go. Last big victory point that we needed. Now, some of their forces came over this way, but we can handle it. Okay, let's try and get rid of these plague toads. That's another considerable boost to their balance of power that once gone, we're better off. Although we are losing a ton of barrier just on this charge. But they also lost a ton of health from our attack. Yeah, they're already crumbling. Let's... Oh. Okay. Out. Out before we lose even a drop more barrier. We got rid of those plague toads. Yeah, now their value is considerably better. Yeah. It's just 36 kills, but it's very important 36 kills. I'm not even sure if your enemy crumbles if it counts. Might. Because they're out of Winds of Magic. The only advantage they have on us now is this one tower. Which, again, I regret not having anything here to try and take them out of the tower. Because now everyone else is... You know what? If they will stay here, what we can do is... Let's see, the map. Oh, we can actually go from the side and completely avoid the tower. Should have checked that sooner. If we move, you know, little by little, a few columns of our army, they probably won't relocate on the walls. So yeah, we can slowly move our army back, and since now there's no more towers, there's no more risk to us taking some time for this. Now we can begin the battle proper. With one less unit of plague drones and both units of plague toads. Does he still have the plague, more plague toads? No, I think right now what's left is... Oh, no, they have one more unit of plague toads, one beast of Nurgle, and one unit of rot flies. Oh no. Oh, they have a lot of plague toads. Huh. But I didn't think it was that many. But as you... Oh, they started manning the towers. Okay, that's bad. That's bad. That's definitely bad. Okay, so... Scratch that, we can't quietly move our army. They are very much onto us. And now we have a unit that's capable of going up the walls if we needed something like that.
Close down the sheep!
Even if they're a little beat up and just marauders.
Chaos Knights of
Oh, they sent the Beast of Nurgle and the Plague Toads. Yeah, let's go for that again. With the Exalted Hero.
attack the mortals!
And give him a little more speed for this. And Vigor Recovery. Alright.
Command me!
I'll avoid sending Archeon in, but I might send those. No, I don't want them to. If they get caught, it will be worse than if the Knights do. The Knights are trading off well. Just have to be sure that they don't get caught in fight with something a lot more units than them. I don't think it's going all that well with the Beast, but we'll see. Here we have the Marauder Horsemen. They're just reforming back to the walls, or are they actually selling out of the walls? Because if they all go outside of the walls, we punish them by sending in our army. Okay, unit of Plague Toads crumbling. These knights are really doing their job. Now let's get them out of any fight whatsoever. Even if they're slow, they seem to be way faster than, you know, Nurgle units. And since there's no towers, there's no consequence to resting and recovering inside the walls. Oh, they even sent out the hero. So let's try and get it, because even if it's beat up, it does count for balance of power. So the better off we are taking out all their stuff that can't really... Okay, in a second I'll sally out the knights, because these may just be, you know, a melee chaff, but we're doing a death by 1,000 cuts in this siege, and that's why it's taking so long. But it would be the case anyway if we really wanted to fight this garrison, because they have a lot of units. Even with all the damage we did so far, the balance of power is still quite in their favor. Yeah, those knights are making quite the number on them. Good old Zinch versus Nurgle. Okay, now they're sending a lot more units. Get out before you get caught, man. Everyone get out. Oh, both of you, out. Because they're going to target us, and that's to their benefit. Yeah, they even use the army slow on us. Who's retreating? Oh, they sallied out right onto the... Oh, that's on me for not paying attention. See, sometimes they do sally out and they saw a very easy target. Oh, they might wipe out our one of our units of Marauder Horsemen. That's not ideal. Now they're moving to try and get us, but I think we still have ways out if we get boxed in. Yeah. Let's just get out of here. And since they did... No. If we had Chaos Warriors, maybe I could have them here and try to hold this gate for us and keep the tower safe. Here we... Oh, they're all there at the breach. Oh, that's not ideal. They might actually box us in if we're not careful. So if that's the case, the best idea is to actually go back in and fight. because, yeah, this is just infantry, like, even though it's very tanky infantry. The problem was them getting to us while we were out of barrier. Though they can make quite a big tar pit on us if we advance now, because they could come down with all these units. And they might. They just might, but let's go. Let's go for it, because we can't get stuck on something like this. Oh, and our Marauder Horsemen did recover. I'll have them here, so even though they're very, very hurt, they still have ammo, so as little ammo as they have, better that they use it. Again, death by 1,000 cuts. These knights are really pulling the weight. That's another of their infantry just melted through. It's gonna start crumbling any second now. The problem is, yeah, again, they're sending in their units when we're out of barrier almost. So let's have the hero try and hold them. Yeah, because see, they do this little retreat once, because they're trying to hold position. Yeah, let's just get a breather. That will be the last of them on the wall. If we take... Okay, we'll do this. I don't want them to get back on the wall. I want them to be caught here and use this time to try and move our army in. We're almost at full barrier, but you know, I'm gonna go for it, even if we haven't fully replenished, just for the opportunity, just to keep them busy, so we can actually have our units move up this way. So everyone that can, let's give them the order to move. Okay, that's going to be a gamble, of course, but however much we can get through to here, the better, because that means these units won't be just here sitting around doing nothing. We'll have more strategic options and maybe end this siege faster, because this is taking quite a while, I'll admit. It might even, you know, almost be the finale of this video. Yeah, let's go for this. And I mean, they, for the most part, I think that should be it. Yeah, except for these. Oh no, these are different. I was going by which units have the little Z's on them. Okay, here, then here, and the last unit of them here. The Hell Cannon won't do anything, so I'll leave them there. Okay, everyone's now moving and avoiding pretty much the tower range. Okay, they're stuck here for no good reason. Everyone, please move so you don't get stuck in weird positions. Yeah. I might take some damage from trying to hold everyone for this engagement, but it'll be worth it, because then we'll have the whole army, and now we can actually, you know, send in the dogs to assist. Even the Hellstriders. Yeah, we're now really taking damage, but it's a payoff to avoid even a single unit of them from getting in. Yeah, we're taking this now. Let's have, in fact, let's have these take the walls, just for good measure. And yeah, we're starting to create our own little corner. Now, let's take this one out of fire at will, because we do want to preserve ammo. Yeah, go through here, I don't... So long as you get... See, we already lost one knight. Come on, we don't want... Come on, help get the knights out, because they are doing a lot of the work. Yeah, because now they're going to send everything they have. Now we get the knights out, and let's have the... Yeah, these may be exalted plague bearers, but now we have better units to help deal with them. Now the army really has come in full force. Can actually hold the front line and all that. There we go. And now the balance of power is steadily starting to shift our way. Now they have no towers, now all the advantages they had over us are gone. Spells and everything else. Okay, the knights are mostly rested. So now we can go and do this. Actually, no, break this. And you stop firing. Like I said, barrier is a huge benefit. And these knights aren't half bad. They're very good heavy cavalry, even if they're not like top tier. Okay, pull back. Keep them fresh. Yeah, because also those knights are quite tired. Another thing to consider in all this. Yeah, the whole army's here, so we can start taking proper action. So what I'll do is get these Chaos Warriors right here, form a line pretty much, and have them hold this place. Oh, wait, no, you don't go through there, you go through here, come on. Don't do something that stupid, please. Alright, now these can pull back for the most part. Yeah. Now we almost have our own mini fortress of sorts, insofar as we've secured this part of the siege map just for ourselves. I'm going to keep the corn units back there. And right now, the only thing I really have to worry about are these plague drones, which they do come over and engage. That's not a big issue. Okay, that's going to come right at us, but we're forming the front line. We're going to have them on guard mode, just so they don't chase anything. They hold their position. And from there, we'll keep pushing forward, try and win ground. Yeah, they're sending the plague drones over. Rot flies, that is. What are they going to attack? Probably the Knights of Zinch. Or probably nothing, actually. Okay, so I'm going to fire right at you. They went for our Chaos Warriors. Okay, fine. We're going to send everything at you. And Nurgle will lose their last melee unit. I mean flying unit. Yep. This time there's no big advantage for you.
Marauder horsemen! Yes, Lord! Get them!
Bring these in, and Rotfly's dealt with. Now pull back the knights. They're still in good shape, but what I want here is the front line of Chaos Warriors. I don't want the knights to actually be the front line, because then they'll just get beaten and stuck like that. Now things are getting better. Where's the hero? He's a little bit beat up. Actually worse off than Archaon, but what I can do now is, since they're starting to sort of bunch up, is have Archaon nearby ready to drop a Searing Doom. But yeah, now we're gaining ground on them.
That's what the master speak!
Have them over here,
Ah!
and these here. Yeah, right now all of our units that matter for this siege are right here. They really are going for this extended battle. Okay, now pull back the Shaggots. Have them stick with this for the most part. Same goes for you. Them being a Nurgle unit, it's slightly confusing who's on whose side, but not terrible. And also I think, yeah, they have no, they don't have regeneration. Weird, I thought they did. Oh, no, wait, I'm looking at the Marauder Horseman card. Yeah, they also don't have regeneration, but they are unbreakable. Okay, these units, let's have them fire over at this. Just provoke them. Oh, they are actively avoiding our reach. Okay, in this case, what we can do now is this and this, because now we are extending our front line. We can aggressively push our defensive line little by little and get more ground on the fortress.
The dark gods command me! What? My blade hungers! Very well! Now!
Okay, let's go for it. No. Stay right there. I want you to only fire if you can fire from there. You hold your ground. In fact, I'm going to let you shoot any target you want, so long as you fire at someone. Are they just going to sit there and take it? No, they're coming for us. Because now... yeah, they have to. They can't just keep avoiding us. Or they can. The AI is really weird. Siege AI is somehow more broken than Field Battle AI sometimes. But yeah, now even this unit, which could go through the walls to deal with us, isn't. For some inexplicable reason. We fire at them. We can. Oh, better than leaving it doing nothing.
Yes, Lord!
Now you conserve your ammo. And since they're doing it like that, what we can do is, this unit is more isolated. I'll make use of this, the fact that we hold this space, to keep picking off isolated units. Now they don't have anything that can really respond to us, so we'll go with that. Let's crush these nerdlings.
Where chaos commands, visit distraction.
Oh, this might be the garrison commander because it has a unique name. I'm not sure if that has any bearing on like overall leadership, but it might. How many casualties there so far? Yeah, we did quite a bit. Definitely more than half, but they haven't crumbled yet. So for some reason they still have plenty of leadership and all that. Okay, you know, if we sweep these nerdlings, that's also good. They might not be as high value a target, but they are a lot, so casualty wise at least it's something. Careful, careful, no, don't get too close to the unit of plague bearers, please. I don't want to fight them quite as much. They do quite a lot of damage to the barrier. The nerdlings seem to do absolutely nothing to these knights. By all means, they should at least try to advance, you know? It's really weird how they can have the enemy right in front of them and all they're trying to do is just hold and keep us from advancing. I guess the AI really expects us to be hyper aggressive for some reason. I mean, they're just making themselves easier to pick off. Hopefully we'll get army losses soon enough. Wait, since they'll do that, and let's go for the plague toads. Oh no, don't get caught there, don't get caught there. Let's wait for all of them to get out. Yes, you. Go. And for the plague toads, which they keep running away. I don't get it. You know, I'm gonna start moving up the line. This is too embarrassing for the AI. Yeah, we're gonna keep pushing, and you know, if they try and at least outflank us, you know, I'm gonna leave some venues open so they can at least try something, because it's super passive. Alright, come over here and help the knights get rid of that. Because what else they even have left? Just a couple of nurglings and plague bearers. Maybe that one unit of toads that's already pretty broken. So maybe if we beat this, the balance of power will shift significantly in our favor and give us the mercy of not having to be 1 hour into this. You know, I mean more than 1 hour into this. Okay, I'll even fast forward because, geez, this is taking a while. Oh, they actually engaged with that one front line. Let's send more people their way. This unit is still sitting here doing nothing. Wow. You know? Okay. Have them crush this unit of nurglings. Yeah, the way this battle is going as well, they're gonna lose 3 units to us. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna even fire the Searing Doom on them, because there's no reason not to at this point. Yeah, I think that's the army losses. At long last, yes. Yes, finally. That was all it took. I mean, it took quite a while, but, a lot of um, a lot of it was going for the most risky things, disabling them, and then taking their victory points, then sending in our army. Sometimes it's a siege that takes a lot of work, but it pays off. And as you saw, it wasn't even you know actually difficult, the engagement itself. It was just a matter of prioritizing stuff. Yeah, and that's Epidemia's gone. So let's occupy that. That's a dark fortress. We certainly want this. And we got a big chunk of experience to go with it. Let's see. Well, 2 points, so of course there's going to be some good stuff here. Oh, definitely this, unless... Yeah, the upkeep is good. This would help the knights be even better, but upkeep it takes priority, at least for me. The economy is everything in this game. It determines what you can and can't field and how much of it. And here, pretty standard stuff, growth and all that. And yeah, we're 14 turns in, and but we have 3 fortresses and more to come. And he's already suing for peace because he's losing.
The Lord of the End Times?
No, of course not. Now, so long as Daniel isn't occupying anything that could be a dark fortress, which I would have to wait and see, we could make peace with him. Or I could just, trespass on his territory and not pay much heed to whatever happens. Okay. What happened? Something about... Oh, okay. Outpost construction. I wondered why Boris was brought up. Hmm. He is... Yeah, he doesn't like us. And I don't like him either, if that's the attitude he'll have with me. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's fair. The unit that really got the experience was the Chaos Knights. Everyone else is sort of lagging behind. Let's go for this. It's a little hard to see what's my territory and what's Daniel's. Usually the flag, the faction flag crawler helps, but this is really close Archaeons in his. Okay, let's go for here. Yeah, yeah, this is him, and it might be another tough fight. So do we have anything to help us? You know what might help us? A second front. We have a lot of money to play with, so maybe I should have started doing this earlier. This is very useful. Is this new? I've never seen this. But yeah, a healer lord would be very, very good. Oh, starting at 4 is not bad either. Yeah, life leeching for sure out of everything here. And let's start recruiting. Actually, this this, and yeah, that's, it's what we can field right now. And if we can get some regimental renown alongside that, well, we can even have the aspiring champions, which on Archeon's army would not be unwelcome. I just hope he can reinforce, yeah, let's.
Excellent.
Free movement. I'm not going to say no to that. Alright. For some reason I could, and that probably assures that he'll be within range. We have Branding Iron for sure, that way we give the aspiring champions a barrier.
Excellent.
We might have a big fight on our hands unless he moves, but if we do, two armies, and it probably won't be as protracted as that one, and if it can possibly auto-resolve without a lot of casualties, I will, for the sake of brevity. Otherwise it would be back-to-back huge fights. And also because at least auto-resolving might spread out the experience a little better. Oh, I can't even make it to strike with Archeon, that's annoying. Yeah, these chaos maps sometimes can be a little goofy. I mean the chaos part of the maps. Okay. That's the game we're playing. That's the game we're playing.
Beyond your comprehension. It is corrupt.
Oh, alright.
I'll have this world.
Would be nice to move and attack, but we won't be able to. The upside is if our vassal does move this way and next turn we declare war, we're gonna have 3 forces, not just our own.
The Eye of Syrian.
No, I don't want anything to do with you. Oh, he's just in reinforcing range, I think. Beautiful. Okay, that played out in our favor. Just make sure this one isn't in force march. Yeah, let's go for it. Now everyone's at war with you. Oh, he's just out of reinforcing range. That's unfortunate. Let's go for this extra unit of dogs. Close victory, but do I lose anything important? No, I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this. Though I might regret it later. No, and it spread out experience nicely. Plenty of chevrons for, the more regular units. Gift vassal, of course. Yeah, all that. Wow, a lot of stuff. Okay. Yeah, because this one didn't have any special material, I think. No, it didn't. I think it's down here that has... The woodcutter is very worth it. It gives more ammo for the Marauder Horseman. But other than that, I mean, let's see what this one does. Oh, this would be good. So if we can take this for ourselves, best that we do. Okay, let's just grab this. Soul Blight. No, against what we're going up against. I mean, I don't particularly care for most of these in certain factions. But I suppose Aspect of the Dread Knight if I must. Besides, I'm going to dedicate to Nurgle as soon as possible. I like picking up the Death ones to be Nurgle ones because that means they get the life leeching passive by default, so they will be able to generate more winds of magic every time they cast. Let's see what we have here. Nothing. Well, I could get the regiments of renown now. I'll avoid doing that, actually. Get the knight, and... yeah, more stuff for Chosen. Although, does this affect the aspiring champions? It doesn't seem to be affecting them. Just specific Chosen, not... yeah, but I have to pick all 4 anyway, so... yeah, maybe this one, then.
The storm of chaos gathers.
Okay, let's go for... more melee defense.
My prayers are answered.
Can these ascend? No, need to be rank 7. Can anyone get an upgrade? Well, you can, but that would... well, the horse masters, do they still have... yeah, but I don't think they get all the buffs that the horsemen do, as far as ammo and all that. So we're going to stay with that, and I probably don't want to leave this unattended on account of this army, but I also don't want my vassal to just get this. You know what? I'm going to let my vassal handle it, and I'll go down, because then he'll probably die to this army, and if he doesn't, I can at least, you know, get this and offer to trade, maybe. At least with non-major settlements, vassals tend to be a little more malleable. I'm going to... let's see, how many souls do I have? No, that would cost all my souls. I'm not going to do that. Oh, and finally we can get this to tier 3, so we'll go for that. And this one's tier 2, perfect. He's of course going to sue for peace, but I'm not interested at all on that. Oh, and that's actually, I forgot it. That's Epidemius. I completely forgot the enemy that we were fighting originally. Just for a second. Okay, now we have Arcane Brain and Iron, so now we can dedicate units to Zinch, which... hello, all of you will become Zinchian Marauders. And if I so want, they can become the Knights later on, so even better. Now they have Barrier, they're in a way better position to harass. Because now, if they do get hit, it's not the end of the world. Can I hit that? I can probably do that. Hit this garrison with just this one lord. Yeah, close victory, but I'm not that invested in this particular settlement. What matters now is I can do this with Archaon, and he'll probably retreat here, at which point I can get rid of him for good. No, for some reason he chose to hide. Okay, fine. I thought he would commit, but apparently not. Let's... yeah, here, let's keep going with this. No point in adding the other spells. Oh, this... does this have anything? I mean, he's going to be Nurgle, so Pestigores, are they worth it? I mean, it's at least something slightly better than a Marauder. So yeah, why not? Next thing, I believe, yeah, let's go for this. More unit experience, and then I think I'll go for Nurgle.
Now the end times come. Greetings. Your abasement pleases me.
And Epidemius is back, at least based on this. I'm sure he'll try and go for this, which, not a problem. He'll either go for our own vassal or he'll go for this army. In either case,
No distractions.
well, he already has quite an army, but it's probably trash. I don't think he'll have everything he wants to have. Compared to the the initial force that we completely decimated. This will give to vassal, and we could even, if we felt particularly wicked, destroy this beastman faction. But I'd rather not pick a fight with something that might slip away. Now let's go for this, and at this point, I think I could dedicate him. No, it's still quite expensive. We need more souls for that. But missile resistance doesn't hurt. Yeah, now let's... Oh, this one can finally become a unit of Chaos Warriors. Finally. I'll actually give this one great weapons. We can always swap at any time we want, so having some to be frontline and others to be just, something to tear, some heavier duty stuff. Yeah. Can I switch? Oh, that's silly of me. I could always have switched them up for pretty much a pittance, Yeah, I'm gonna go for dual weapons. We already have answers to cavalry, so if we have more answers to infantry, the better. Yeah, let's return here. We want to keep the momentum going. We took out what Daniel had on this side. Did we in fact take out Daniel entirely? Yes, we did. Perfect.
You have my promise.
What we have here? Oh, we have aspiring champions. That's extremely good. Finally. And I'll give that to Archaon because he certainly deserves it. Just give the least experienced Marauders and we trade that. Yeah. Perfect. Now we finally have some of these, and they already have barrier thanks to the technology. So now we're starting to get some really good infantry for this army. Is there anything else? Nothing I would care to build. Commandment, yeah, just chaos corruption. We're almost getting the Eye of the Gods thing, though. Yeah. I don't want to... Wait, are these their buildings or ours? Less growth isn't the end of the world, for more winds of magic. Okay. Now we can keep going unless... Is there anything else special here? Not really. I can field more Marauders without going to the red, so... Given the option, I definitely will. I know that this now I'm on a razor thin economy, but on the upside, I'm having, you know, basically 2 stacks to run around, and if I can resolve, battles like this without having to fight them, the better.
What could you possibly offer me?
He's going to super peace again, and I'd rather not.
Yes. Bring corruption.
He's
You need a boost.
just selling out. Okay,
Yes.
if that's what he wants, but I think he will retreat if we come in with 2 forces. Will he? No, he won't. Oh. Let's see what this does for us. It's funny. It does insist on killing one of our marauders no matter what. What if we give them the Strider one? Sometimes that shifts. For some reason that helps. I'll never understand how that works, but yeah, it's... Does this have anyone die if I... No. And bye, Epidemius, again. I'm not gonna fight, for hours on end for you again. There we go. A big fight, plenty of souls and plenty of loot,
Syrian's eye guides me.
And occupy that. And yeah, that's it. I can even,
Enter then.
do
Are
some
you after a drink? A fist fight?
Tower of
or
Flies,
both?
which is not interesting to me. Wait, is the Tower of Flies the one I'm at? No, yeah, the Tower of Flies is this one, so
I submit.
give me money. Thanks. At that, let's go for... Oh, finally being able to upgrade the Chaos Knights. And magical attack, which even better for them. Anyone works.
Eldritch I see.
Ooh, another unit of aspiring champions. Let's just give me 1 second to accommodate them.
Just corrupt. Now
Can I alright trade that with Archeon? Yes. Let's... You get this and I get this. And Archeon finally gets the Ascension. And the hero gets... Well, more HP doesn't hurt.
the slaughter begins.
And yeah, I mean, we're 21 turns in, and I would say this is off to a really good start. Because, as you can see, there's, we're surrounded by allies, or at least neutral people. Our problems down below are fairly far away, and we're just taking a lot of ground. And our economy will start to pick up as soon as we actually, start investing more in the fortresses. Because now we have 3, and there's just another one here. And if we go down to Norska, there's, I think, at least 4 down here from memory, and Cracket Drac. So I could just, go for this, take care of Malice, then just swoop right in. Or I could even keep going all the way west and get Sigvald and Valkia to join the Warhost. So I think I've demonstrated fairly decently in a couple of scenarios how a melee-only faction works, and ways to, take advantage of that one way or another. So I'll wrap this here. up next after this should be the video going over this in a more succinct manner. The things on both the prior video with the Empire and the one here, and possibly some extra stuff from outside of those videos. And yeah, that's going to be it. If you enjoy, me playing these kind of short campaigns where I'm playing at least the first 20-ish turns and just seeing how much I can get done in that time, please tell me, because I rather enjoy playing them. It's pretty fun, and I don't mind talking about the factions and explaining them and going over it. So yeah, that's it, and I hope you have a good day. Until next time.